Okay, let's do it. All right, so if you're listening to this, welcome to the Matt and Max podcast, episode number 8. I'm not sure what kind of title we're going to put for this because last week's title was kind of a stretch. Like, but the thing is, like, it's hard to call clickbait on a podcast because you'd have to watch the whole thing to really get a good, you know. So, like, life hacks is kind of a very loose, like, link between you and your beach walk, but it's kind of clickbaity. But the people that watch the whole podcast, they're not going to care about a clickbait title. So it's a perfect formula, I think. You know what I mean?
No, yeah, I think it works. Yeah, it's hard to do titles for podcasts. It's difficult. You want to even remember what you spoke about in the whole hour and stuff like that. You're like, what's the best thing that we spoke about? And then, and also you don't want to make a title and then like you only spoke about that for like 5 minutes, but then the whole other podcast has like some other crazy conversation.
Yeah, exactly.
It's hard to sort of.
It's like what you used to do with your podcast. You used to like almost bunch your title up into like segments, which was kind of cool. But yeah, it's like
I'll do like 3 topics.
Yeah, exactly.
In the title, but yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah, whereas this one is kind of like, let's think of the most clickbait thing, put it in there.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Because like we could easily call this podcast, like imagine how dead it would be if we call it like connection issues or something like that, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what like 1 year into YouTube Kaz would have done, 100%.
Yeah, or like instead
100%.
You could just be like you could title it something like, maybe it's time to quit or something like that, and then just mention how like this is so annoying that you're gonna want to quit. Like,
it is dead.
And it's crazy how like you pick up different habits and techniques for like YouTube and stuff as you go along. Like you said, like when you were a year into it, you would have just put like some dead title. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. But I think we should just, for the people who didn't listen to the end of the last podcast we did, we had a bunch of like connection issues with us cutting out, so it was hard to hear each other.
Yeah.
I think it's happening to Matt right now.
No, I'm good.
Was it? Oh, okay. I thought that like breathe in was like
no, that's just be like ooh, no.
Yeah, I got a bit scared, but it puts us on edge a bit because we don't always know if we're being heard, etc. So
yeah,
if like it might happen this podcast as well. We think it's your internet, so hopefully that'll get sorted soon.
That's my internet.
Anyway.
Not you guys watching. We're not gonna be like that. This is your problem. Yeah, it's my internet.
Yeah. Oh yeah. His internet, Matt's internet.
Yeah. But
we need to start off the comments, mate. We need to get in those comments from the last 2 episodes.
Yeah. So what we did from episode 6 and 7, the difference between episode 6 and 7 and 5 is that we asked at the beginning for your guys' comments, and I think we pulled in like double the comments on the last 2 episodes, just asking you guys what you want to hear about. So that's really cool. So if there's anything you want to hear again in the next episode, then leave a comment, and we probably will address it at some point. I feel like definitely.
But I think episode 6 was the first time we asked for those comments, wasn't it?
Yeah, and that was probably our best podcast to date, I think, episode 6, because 7 was kind of screwed by the internet and a phone call and all that.
Yeah, episode 7 was like, it was going so well, and then like at the end it was sort of like we really struggled to hear what each other was saying, and it just kind of killed it.
Yeah, it was the combination of an interrupted like phone call, and then when I came back, the internet was like dodgy and stuff like that. But yeah, headache. So anyway, anything you want to hear, it can be YouTube related, it can literally be anything related, can't it? You know what I mean? If it's science related, literally anything in the world, like that's on your mind, you know.
And we say we're not a gaming podcast at all, but like we'd still, even if like anything related to gaming, like not like opinions on the new crate, stuff like that, not like that, but like even if it's game, because like when you think about it, gaming, like Fortnite, for example,
it's a huge part of like our lives. For one.
It's just huge. It's a huge part of everyone's lives at the moment. Really, everyone who's going to be watching this probably has some sort of connection with Fortnite, one way or another. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah.
It's everywhere, mate. Ever since Drake hopped on, it's just been
And like, should I tell you what actually started that for me when it seemed to finally take off on the internet in terms of like posts on Twitter and Instagram? Do you remember that Snapchat of the little kid doing the floss and the caption was "Fortnite's fully consumed my little brother"?
I've seen that,
that for me, from that point when I first saw that, it took over the internet, and I think that was like the end of last year maybe, and
oh really?
I think it's like early December, late November, and I think that's
end of last year.
Yeah, and then it got really hyped. Like I would say, like it's been increasingly like hyped and stuff. But so yeah, if you wanted to ask something game related, you can be met with like great responses, like Max last week when he addressed the heavy car bug in about 4 seconds.
Wait, sorry, mate. You say that one more time.
So I said, if people want to ask a gaming-related question, you can get some sick response like you did last week to the heavy car bug situation, which was just we're not a Rocket League podcast, so
yeah, exactly.
Although you've been kind of consumed by gaming lately, haven't you?
Mate, this is the last single player game I buy for a long time, put it like that.
Yeah.
I recently picked up Far Cry 5, for those of you who have played it. Fuck, man. Fuck, what a poor life decision that was, mate. What a fucking poor life decision that was.
Is it just like the progression of the story that keeps you hooked, or what is it?
It's that, and it's the kind of game that it is. I don't know do you know anything about Far Cry?
Very, very little. Like,
how do I put it? I don't even know what the genre's called. I really don't know like what about like game genres and that. But it's one of those games where you have like a map, like a big like open world sort of map, and you have like a story obviously in the game, like the main story. But then you have so many side missions, like, and there's like different kind of side missions, and like in Far Cry 5, you've got the map that's split into 3 sectors.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go into the story in that, but there's basically 3 sectors, and like you just gotta. I'm trying to. Obviously, a lot of people probably go onto that game and they just complete the story, and they do a couple of side missions as well, but they don't like 100% it.
Yeah, yeah. Are you someone that really likes the 100%? You know, get all the quests done, all that stuff.
Yeah, I feel like I want to experience everything that they offered in that game. You know what I mean? I really want 100% everything. So like complete every side mission, overtake every outpost, complete like all the story missions, everything like that, mate. And, oh man, and it takes long, mate. Like I've been playing that game for hours upon hours every day.
Yeah, I see it.
And with Rocket League and Fortnite, I'm not addicted to either of those anymore, so I can play them and enjoy them. Yeah, I can play them and enjoy them, but I could easily go and edit without feeling that
you're not
sort
itching
of like
to
urge.
like get on there. Yeah.
But dude, I started editing yesterday, so I've still been getting up at 6:30 every morning. That's gone like very well. I haven't fucked that up yet. But mate, these past 2 days. So yesterday I got up at 6:30. I think it was yesterday.
You straight on the game.
Mate, so what I did was I went on Sony Vegas like, right, I really want to fucking play Far Cry, but I'm gonna start editing, alright? Just at least start. So I got everything, synced it all up. This is the video that's going up today, by the way.
Sick, okay.
Synced it all up. I did like 10 seconds of editing. I was like, oh man, fuck, I really want to fucking play Far Cry. I was like, just stay strong for another like 5 minutes, and then it just, I don't know, I'm not strong enough.
That's the thing with editing. When you first start, you know, when you've got all your clips in your like clip bin or whatever you call it, and there's nothing on the timeline, and the first like 5 minutes is just lining stuff up, and it's like
hard.
When you get past that and you're in the swing of like cutting and editing, it usually goes quite well. But for me, just the mental like, let's just line this up, sync it up, do the audio, and it's like, when you feel like you've got something else to do, it can be really like mentally challenging to get started.
That's the thing. I was in a good place with that because I wasn't addicted to any game, so editing was like, I'm enjoying this.
When did you get Far Cry? Because it's been like super recent, hasn't it? Like, I swear.
I think Far Cry came out honestly like a month ago, maybe around about there. But I only picked it up a couple of days ago. The reason I wanted to get it on release, but I didn't for this exact reason. I knew what it would do to me, and I was like, but I got to a point where I justified it because I was like, right, I've got a really good routine going on now. Surely this game, you know, I'll just play it in my free time.
Yeah,
you know, it's not gonna consume me. Holy shit, man, I'm so wrong, dude. Oh my god. I don't even have to explain. It's an addiction. I'm so addicted to that game. I'm gonna complete it like in the next 2 days, like today or tomorrow. I should be able to complete it.
Yeah, that's the thing. I can't remember the last time I had a really, really like life-consuming sit-down single-player experience. Like multiplayer is just so much. I know single player, if you really get into it, it's like you know, super cool. Like I had the I don't know if you remember like any sort of Dragon Quest game. You ever played that?
I never played those.
But, that Dragon Quest 8 consumed me, and that was like, you know, on the PS2 before multiplayer was like a thing. Obviously like the Crash Bandicoot games, all that stuff. But like the big, massive like single player games like The Last of Us, I just haven't got into, haven't been consumed yet.
Right. We're going to fall out over this Last of Us topic, mate.
I tried. I made a series and everything.
Nah. You did make a series, didn't you?
Yeah.
Did I watch? I can't remember. I think I started. How many episodes did you do? Do you remember?
I think I did either 3 or 4 hour-and-a-half long or hour long.
So how far did you get? Do you remember, like, without any spoilers?
I just got to the... I had the little girl with me. I just gone past this like
so you did
this like maze bit with these like zombie things in. And that was AIDS,
right?
and that, but I just I mean, there was a bit that made me like. I think I cried. I teared up. I think it was the very intro, actually. I was like, kind of...
Well, without any spoilers, because I don't want to spoil such... I mean, it's been out for so long, so I don't, like... Anyone who's going to play it should have played it by now.
If you're watching this and care about it, you probably know what's up, but yeah. But I think because, like, partly because my videos revolve so, like, especially back then, like, I was trying to do The Last of Us on my second channel when I was going up, like, 20,000 subs a month on Rocket League and multiplayer. and it was all about like community interaction, and it's hard to do that sort of video with The Last of Us unless you're doing like Easter eggs or tips and tricks, and I was not in the know about that at all.
So
if I uploaded it like 2010, if the game was around 2010 and I did that, I think it'd be a lot easier. But I think just my life, everything was so much, and that was just kind of put on the back seat.
The thing is with The Last of Us, dude, like I've played a lot of single player games and I still stand by it's the best single player game of all time.
Yeah.
But I completely understand why you couldn't get into it, because for the first couple hours of that game as well, for me, I really struggled to sort of get into it, because obviously it's the beginning of the game, so it's hard to get into the story like straight away. And also the actual gameplay it's not my kind of gameplay. I know exactly what you mean. Like it feels tedious a lot of it.
It's not like exhilarating at all times. Yeah.
No. But I swear to God, man, if you just hold on and just keep going through, like just for the payoff at the end, like I swear you really have to. Don't record it, but just at some point go back to that game and complete it, man. Like it's worth the couple of hours that you've got left on it. I swear, like it really is. It really, mate. It's the best. In my opinion, as a gamer, you have to have played The Last of Us. Like it's a masterpiece of a game. I swear, dude. Like I almost cried in that game so many times, dude. Like fuck, that game is incredible.
Yeah,
it's so good.
It's definitely a different vibe as well. Like playing a single.
It's a different vibe. Yeah. You got to take it for what it is. You got to like appreciate it.
It's like
a
movie, an interactive movie.
It is, yeah. That is pretty much what it is, yeah. Like whereas Far Cry, for example, is a lot about the gameplay and the story is not so much.
Oh, okay.
So the story is interesting, but it's not like gripping me. You know what I mean? It kind of is, but not too much. But I'm just loving the gameplay and going around and doing all these like unique different missions and getting new guns and taking over outposts and shit. But I don't want to stray too much into that because we really need to start reading these comments, mate.
Okay, right, yeah. So
we probably killing there, like sat there, like fucking read my comment. We're like, oh,
yeah, okay. So, I mean. One of the comments we got asked was like, let me go to it for like specific wording. It was the one from episode it was 6, right? Yeah.
I'm on that at the moment. Is it TXOs by any chance? That's what I'm
from
looking
TXO.
at.
Yeah. So I'll just read it out in its entirety. So it says,
go for it.
One thing I would love to hear about how to be able to grow an audience on YouTube and speak more about the things you two enjoy, because that's what entertains me the most, when you two are just being yourselves and talking about what you enjoy, not what we tell you to talk about, if you get me. Slight contradiction there with what you'd like to hear about, but hey, great vid so far. I haven't watched it all yet. So first of all, comments like that, they're like probably the most fulfilling and like the best comments we can get on a podcast, you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Comments that further the podcast and help improve the content.
Say that one more time, mate, sorry.
I feel like those are the best kind of comments, you know, like just...
Yeah.
You know, they say they like it, but a lot of people just stop there, you know? Which is great, but when you add to it and... you know, stuff like that. It's awesome. So
it's awesome. Yeah.
I'm interested. Actually, if I were to ask you, like, on your advice, like, if there was someone who came to you, say they were like 13 or whatever, and they said, how in 2018 should I go about growing a YouTube channel? What would your like main advice be?
I mean, at first you gotta decide like what you want to do. So in his question here, he says, how to be able to grow an audience on YouTube and speak more about the things you two enjoy. So I think what he's trying to say is like how, if unless I'm mistaken, is he trying to say how do you grow when like just speaking about the things you enjoy? Is that what he's saying?
I think he's saying he'd love to hear about how to be able to grow an audience on YouTube and hear us speak about things we enjoy. I think those two aren't related, in my opinion. I could be wrong.
Right, okay, because I feel like you need to grow an audience via some other means other than speaking what you enjoy before people start to listen to what you want to speak about.
Yeah.
Because you start off as a nobody, and like, I'm not saying like we're somebodies, but you start off as like on YouTube. If you go on straight onto YouTube, unless you're some crazy, interesting guy who's got a lot of knowledge about a certain subject, and you start a channel based on that subject, like if me and you just started a podcast before we had our channels, it would be so fucking hard to get it off the ground, like if we even could. Like, it's to the point now where...
it wouldn't surprise me if we uploaded twice a week for a year, had 100 episodes, and didn't break 1,000 subs.
Oh, yeah, not at all. Because with a podcast, you have to... The only podcast I've been able to get into, and this is why, like, this is so good that we've started this now, sort of when we both got our channels sort of going a bit, is with me in podcasts, I need to know the person. Yeah. If I don't know the person, there's a few podcasts that, like... So for the Joe Rogan Experience, for example... If I listen to him, then he says, oh yeah, my friend's got a good podcast. I'll go over to it, listen to like 10 minutes, and I'm like, because I don't have a fucking clue who this guy is, it doesn't matter what he's saying or how he's saying it, I really just can't really like get into it too well.
Yeah.
Whereas with me and you, like 99%, probably all of the people who watch our podcast at the moment, either watch your channel or my channel, or both. Yeah.
If there's anyone here watching, especially to this point, if this is the first place you found us or heard of us, let us know in the comments. I feel like we should almost start every episode with that. Like, is there anyone new coming? You know what I mean? Because what I find is weird. Like, we're going up like 20, 30 subscribers a week. So it's like, it's weird that if they did come from us, that they didn't subscribe sooner or something like that. So it makes you wonder, maybe there's people out there that only know us for this, which would be kind of weird. Imagine someone comes up to you in public like, "Hey, you're the Matt and Max podcast guys," and it's like, "Thank you very much."
As we go on, that's going to happen more and more. I think for now, honestly, I'll be surprised if there's even a single person.
Yeah, so would I.
I'd honestly.
But then
be
again,
surprised.
I wouldn't. You know?
Oh yeah. To be fair,
like,
I get what you mean. Yeah,
YouTube is weird like that.
But on how to grow an audience on YouTube, I think you're the best person to ask for that. My advice, honestly, would be. Fuck, man, what can I say that hasn't been said a million times? That's the only thing. I think everyone says the same thing.
Like, yeah, that's a good point. I mean, what do you find what has worked most for you? If you could take all advice you've heard and pick one that for you personally worked. I said worked, do you get what I mean? What really like had value as far as you're concerned?
Oh man, fuck, I don't know, because I grew my channel in such a weird way. Like, a lot of my channel growth was it started off from reacting to a trailer for Rocket League. That's how it pretty much started, and then I started to really grow it because of I was getting really good at Rocket League. Yeah, and now I'm sort of trying to grow my audience based on my personality rather than Rocket League, which is so much harder to do, but I feel like in the long run it'll be a lot better for me. Yeah. But I don't know. I really don't know, man. You got to sort of like... I think one of the big things, which a lot of people skip by as small channels is, and even I haven't been doing it at all recently, and I really need to get on it, is you need to make those big videos. So you have those sort of like consistent, whatever, regular videos for your subscribers. Almost. Kind of, yeah, but they should be more than that. You don't want to upload them. Yeah,
you don't want just like fill a void, but they're like your sort of what you can expect.
Your videos, what people subscribe for, basically. Yeah. But you need. I think of it as like fishing, you know what I mean? So like you've got your like average videos, and then you really need to like throw that motherfucking fish rod like far, and you need to make one of those big videos that can possibly reach out to a bunch of new people. Yeah. And then obviously like you bring a few fish in, not all of them. Some of them they'll swim by and they won't take the bait. They'll be like, yeah, fuck that shit. We've got better things. But some of them they'll come a bit closer. Yeah. And then you get some subscribers from that, and then out of those, honestly, like 5-10% of who you got in from that big video will probably stay. Yeah. But you keep doing that until you just build it up. That's honestly the way.
A really good analogy, actually, that I never really thought about.
I kind of just picked out the spot, honestly, mate. I was just sort of going on a roll there.
Have you say like you think about it as fishing? Have you ever literally thought about it as that, or is that just kind of a way you're kind of wording it, or have you thought about this fishing thing before? Or did this just come to mind?
No, I swear that was literally it. I was thinking of sort of those big videos throwing yourself out there, and I thought of a fish, because on Far Cry, you can fish. I've been fishing a bit recently on Far Cry, mate. Yeah. I've been getting those big fish, which I'm selling for a lot of money. So that's the way I thought of it.
That's actually really good, honestly. Like I think it's important to know that because I've seen a lot of small YouTubers do this, and they'll make their regular videos and they'll do that big fish, you know what I mean? And they'll be upset that it doesn't bang for the first time. And you have to know that just because one video doesn't mean the next one won't, but it also shouldn't mean you quit making good videos. Like I'll often upload a video and I'll say this could get 10,000 or 1 million views. Only one video of mine's ever got 1 million views, and the video that did was one that I said it could get 20,000 or 1 million, and that one came off. And there was another one I said it could get 20,000 or 1 million. That was like my benchmark, and it got 20,000. Both of which as good as the other, in my opinion. So I think if you can get to the stage where you're producing I think when you're starting out and you're learning and you're growing, I think almost a good way to do it is to kind of outperform yourself. Like try and improve something with every video, and then when you get into that groove of your regular videos, then chuck in that extra big effort video that you think could bring in new people. Yeah.
And I think it's important to also be realistic. Yeah. I think a lot of people think they're like really entertaining and think that they're special, but they're really not. Yeah. And
not in a harsh way.
Not in a harsh way, but you have to be like brutally honest with yourself. So for example, I don't know how to put it. For the longest time, I thought that my sort of personality and the way I make my videos would just pick up and would take off, because I rated my sort of. I thought my personality was good enough. Yeah. And recently, I've kind of realized I see people like Ninja, for example, who's like a good good example. he's got a personality that will take off. You know what I mean? He's very good at the game, which obviously is the reason he got so big. But his personality, he's like, and CDN the Third is another really good example. He's one of the funny, even more than Ninja probably actually.
Yeah. Well, like I've heard like Ninja talk about like CDN, like sorry to cut you off, but like how even if CDN is playing badly, his stream will still be good for the reason that he is entertaining. Whereas there are people, if like you know, this is a bit of a tangent, but you know Alex Ramy Gaming, Fortnite.
I've seen like one of his videos.
He's like the #1 world ranked wins, but he's by no means the best player. He just plays to win. And I watched a stream of his this morning, and I watched for 2 minutes, and he actually didn't say a word. He said nothing, and it was the most boring thing. He was on 1 kill with like 30 people left, and he literally just plays out for the wins because that's his selling point. He's the most he's got the most wins. And his viewers were down from like tens of thousands down to a couple thousand. It just shows like personality goes a long way.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
But anyway, what you were saying,
I was. That's literally pretty much what I was saying. Is that, but in contrary to that, like some people really think their personality is like enough.
Yeah.
And for 90% of you, it really isn't.
Yeah.
For some of you listening, I'm sure it is. I'm sure you you probably do have a personality that maybe can, but be really realistic to yourself, and don't you don't want to be disillusioned, is that a word? You know what I mean? You don't want to trick yourself into thinking that you can do things. Like, for example, that's why recently I've put a lot more time into editing my videos, and it's only a small change at the moment, but like I'm working on it so that I'm constantly bringing in these new things to my videos that could possibly make people want to stay. Because I've realized I can't keep doing the same thing for so long.
I think for small YouTubers, editing can make up for what you lack in other areas. It can kind of mask areas that aren't quite as well rounded with your personality. Like, it's really hard to maintain a 20-minute video with no cuts, but when you do it for years, you get pretty good at it. But editing can really mask that. Yeah,
definitely. And like I've been adding like little things like subtitles, for example.
Huge,
yeah, man. That's the thing. Like I've literally started adding and it does take quite long, but when you get into it, it's not too bad.
Realistically, like for a section, it might be like for like a 5-second section, it might be 5 minutes, but exactly. In the grand scheme of things, I always think like if I've got a big video, I'm like, oh man, this is gonna be a really long edit, but in actual fact, I can still bang out a pretty decent, long, highly edited video, and if I'm actually fully focused, it will only take 2 or 3 hours of like non-stop, which isn't a lot, especially for someone who me who has it as a job. And I definitely have more time to make bigger videos, and I think, the work before you start looks a lot more than it actually ends up being. I
feel like if you have the discipline for this, and this is something that like no one will probably even stick to, but I feel like the best sort of formula is if you could do sort of like your regular uploads, and then once every sort of like 2 weeks maybe, do those like big fishing videos maybe. If you could keep doing that, I think that's honestly your best bet.
Yeah. So I tell you who does that very well. You know Floomp.
I don't watch him too much.
He'll do like a few videos throughout the week. He's changed up a bit now recently with like adding Fortnite and doing more like big videos. But he used to do it where he'd do like a couple videos during the week. Then every Saturday, people could come back and be guaranteed like a banger, like a top 10 or a compilation or something.
Wasn't it him and Sunless Khan who were doing that together for like a month?
They did it. Yeah, they do it like for that month they do it every day and still do the big video on Saturday. And the big video on Saturday would get like up to 10 times more views. And I think it's hard for like sometimes even with me with my channel, I'll see a video that gets maybe 10,000 views and I'll be like, man, that kind of sucks. But
wait, say that again. Sorry, mate.
Like, I'll see sometimes a video of mine get 10,000 views and I'll be like, man, that kind of sucks. I'd wish I like just never uploaded. But you have to realize that a low performing video by your standards, whatever that may be, doesn't affect other videos. It could there could be another video the next day that completely like blows up. And there is like a debate to be had. Like some people say if you upload less and they're all bangers, they all get lots of views, you'll have more engagement and you'll be more likely to be recommended and stuff. But I think a video is pretty much just as likely to get recommended if it's the right video, regardless of how inactive any subscribers you have are or anything like that, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I get you completely. Yeah, definitely. I think we've covered that, mate. I don't know what more we could say on that topic.
Pretty much, I think
what he said.
If we were to sum up everything, I think first of all you have to know, like anything, and it's so cliche. One, it does take work, even if it's enjoyable. It takes work and time.
Say that again, sorry, bro.
Like growing a channel and stuff, it takes work and time.
Yeah,
And there's no real way around that, because if you're going in literally fresh, your videos aren't going to be good enough for you to grow straight away. That's what it's like, the golden period of YouTube. The first few years, you are actually enjoying getting better at making videos for a start. You know? Yeah,
man. Like, think about how many years we've been uploading videos.
Yeah, well, I saw the other day, actually, you just uploaded your 400th video. I don't know if you've got, like, a couple more now, but 400
really?
On just this one channel in, like, less than 3 years, like, 400 videos. That's pretty good. Like,
it's all right, yeah. And, like, I took a lot of time off here and there, so it's sort of, I understand the 400 in sort of, like, less than 3 years, but
that's, like, that's still averaging, like, 2 or 3 a week, despite your breaks and all that, which is...
Yeah,
you know,
and I'm only I'm only getting like 3K videos, 3K views on average a video. So, and that's 3 years of sort of work when you think about it. You know what I mean? So you gotta. But I keep doing it because like I love it. So I don't really. I feel like that's the thing. If you don't love it, I can't see how I'd still be doing it. Exactly. I would have definitely moved on to something else. Because like we were saying the other, I don't know if we said this in a podcast or if we just said this amongst ourselves, but you really do not get what you put in.
Yeah, I think we have mentioned this in a podcast.
We said was that in the podcast? Yeah, like so. Not at all. I think not in the slightest, mate. So you gotta love the process. That's the biggest thing.
Exactly. It's like it's like that with everything. It's like the whole weight loss challenge we're doing. Like that's something you say. Like you have to love the process and you have to enjoy the day-to-day things. You can't just do it for a goal. Like we know people that like have come to you or me and say like, hey, I want to be a YouTuber. Like, well, I've been doing it for a day. What's going on? Where's the money at? You know?
What's going on? Yeah.
But
yeah, exactly. Yeah. And you gotta just don't complain as well. That's another thing that annoys me, and that's not even just with YouTube. Like with anything in life, I saw this quote on Joe Rogan's Instagram the other day, and literally just said, nobody cares, work harder. I think you saw it on my Twitter.
Yeah.
Mate, that is, out of all the quotes I've ever heard, mate, that honestly resonated with me the most by a long shot.
Yeah,
like
because realistically, it like you have people that like take an interest, but like you said, nobody actually cares.
Yeah,
like
nobody
you do.
Actually sort of cares, and they're not sitting there thinking, "Fuck, man, he's having a hard time now." Like, I really care. Like I want to. You know, no one really cares. Like even with your best friends. Yeah. Even with like family, I swear, no one like.
That's the thing. Yeah, they're like
mum and dad maybe an exception, maybe. You know what I mean? But even still, like sort it out.
They're like looking from the outside, like for instance, parents. They'll be like, oh yeah, he's doing this YouTube thing. It might not be going as well. It might be going pretty well. Like that's good for him. But they're not as. Then no one can ever be as invested as you are, and you know it's up to you to really, just up to you to make it happen for yourself.
And the thing is, like, with nobody cares, work harder. Another thing that sort of means to me, and what it means to everyone who sort of should read that quote is like, because nobody cares, that means there's literally zero point in complaining.
Yeah.
So I had a phase for you probably noticed, like for about, I feel like 2 months maybe, I'm not sure, while I was complaining on Twitter a lot because I wasn't sleeping and all this shit. And when you complain, and I'm not saying that if I didn't complain, it would have. I would have, started sleeping and stuff. But I'm sure I would have sorted it out a lot quicker if I stopped complaining. Because when you realise that nobody cares and that complaining is pointless and you stop complaining, you realise that the only person this is affecting is yourself. So you have no choice but to get yourself out of it. Otherwise, you're going to be the only one suffering. When you sort of complain on Twitter and that, you get this sort of like, when I make that like paragraph saying, fuck, like I can't sleep, I can't upload because of this and shit. And then I click post or tweet. Oh, 1 second, mate.
No worries.
Yeah, Mum, I'm recording.
Oh, the best.
Oh, mate, sorry. Mum, I can't for another like half an hour.
Shout out to Max's mum.
Jesus. I'm sorry about that, man.
That's all good. Shit. It's all good.
What was I saying?
You were talking about like your massive paragraph when you tweet and then something happens.
Massive paragraph when I tweet.
Yeah, about complaining, about complaining and stuff. Like
okay. So when you complain, I remember now. So when you type that sort of paragraph on Twitter, I'm like, oh, I haven't slept, I can't upload because I'm not sleeping, etc. Then I press tweet, I get all these like likes, replies, because obviously I've got a following, so it's really easy for me to do that.
Yeah.
And it gives me a sense of, people are feeling sorry for me. You don't feel it literally. Yeah. You're not like, yes, I want people to feel sorry for me, but like subconsciously even, you're like, you get that sort of kind of reward feeling.
It's like validation of your reason to complain. It's like, this is like, I have a right to complain because these people think so and it's annoying me.
And I'm a tiny bit more comfortable with letting my problems continue because I'm like, people feel, it's,
I totally get what you
with
mean.
Me on this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If I never complain and there's no one to feel sorry for me and there's no one, you know, who's gonna like acknowledge what's going on, then the only reason, like, staying in the situation that I'm in, where I'm not sleeping, etc., is only gonna affect me.
Yeah.
And I'm getting no validation for it or anything. No one's even acknowledging it. No one even knows it's happening because I'm not complaining about it.
Exactly. Yeah.
So there's just staying in it is just gonna affect no one but me. You know what I mean? So
I think complaining, like, there is the comfort of, like, if you're complaining, there are like people that like maybe going through the same thing, and it's like it makes you feel better. But like the thing is, when you like, I can't remember who I heard this say, but like it's like I think it might have been Gary Vaynerchuk. He was like, the only people that care about your complaining and that you're losing are losers. You know what I mean? Not to be like mean.
Yeah,
the only people are the type of people that will also complain about the same thing. You know, people that are out there doing their own thing, getting their grind on, they're not listening to your complaints. They're working on themselves.
Exactly, man. Yeah,
that's what I like aspire to be like. But sometimes it is good to like vent. Like, but
there's a difference.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a difference.
It's people that, like, when it gets to the stage of whining, it's like, okay, just stop. Like in regards to YouTube, like you said about like how this all started, like not to complain. Like if you see, like, imagine if you're a viewer of this guy who has 100 subs and he's like, oh man, 10 views on this video. Imagine you're one of those 10. It probably makes you feel pretty irrelevant when they're just complaining the whole time about how low their views are. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Like, I don't remember ever complaining about having low views. I don't think I've.
No, I don't think I have either.
Ever complained
like,
about it.
I've said like, oh, views are down, but I've not made a public statement about it. Like when I got 20 views in that Dragon Quest video, that was a joke. I was like, oh, rip, my channel's dead.
Because 99.9% of the time, you should be able to know why it's getting those kind of views. Like, there's always a reason. It's not, and then you get these people saying like, oh, it's not going to sub boxes and stuff. I don't. That might be a thing.
I don't. But like, I see so many tweets of people saying, "Oh, it's not going to sub boxes. Notifications aren't working." And every time, I will name because he probably won't watch them, whatever. But like Noah's Noah. Like I watch all of his videos. They're really good quality. You know, despite anything that's happened in the past between us, anyone else, I enjoy his videos.
Sorry, mate.
Like
that last bit. Repeat that last bit again.
So like, despite anything that happened between like me and Noah in the past or anyone else, like I enjoy his current videos, and that's why I watch them, and that's why I have notifications on. And he's removed like multiple videos just when I go to watch them with the notifications saying like, oh, no sub boxes, no notifications, and I'm just there like, dude, I'm getting every notification. What's going on? I don't know if that's because like YouTube changed it so that sometimes when you click the bell, it's occasional notifications, but it's not hard to just click on it and check that you get every single one. Like, I don't know.
What I mean? Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I don't know. I feel like it's a really easy thing for a lot of YouTubers. I mean, I'm sure there's... Yeah, it is. Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of there's a few YouTubers who probably maybe get hit hard by it. Maybe fuck knows. I really don't know. Yeah. But it really gives. I'm sure 80% of the people who complain about it really just are getting shit views.
That's the thing. Yeah,
it gives them an excuse.
They're trying to give a reason for their low views. It can't possibly be because their content's outdated or bad or their subs aren't watching.
Exactly.
It's something else. They're putting the blame.
It gives them it gives them a what's the saying, like a reason not to work on it themselves. You know what I mean?
Even if
it's not their
there
fault,
is a sub box problem, if you hold yourself accountable, that can only be a good thing. Even if you genuinely are being like fisted by YouTube,
taking responsibility.
If you hold yourself accountable, then only good things are going to happen. Like if you stop giving yourself excuses, like for every aspect of life, if you stop putting your problems on other reasons, anything but yourself, things really start to change.
It pretty much goes straight back to that quote, more or less.
It does.
You know, don't complain, don't make excuses. It's like, the worst thing.
Yeah.
Joe Rogan, who admires like one of the most successful people ever, like maybe not in the world, but you know, like he's very fucking successful. He's got one of the biggest podcasts, if not the biggest podcast, and he's a commentator for the UFC. You know, like he's probably my biggest inspiration, one of anyway.
Yeah.
He said, like, almost word for word, when I was listening to all of his podcasts, said making excuses and complaining is literally like the worst thing anyone could do who's trying to succeed.
Yeah.
Like it is the most toxic, worst, and it's hard to sort of realize why it's so bad.
Yeah.
But when you stop making excuses and you start to realize, wait, if I just take, even for things that probably I could validate an excuse for, if you just fuck that off and just take responsibility for everything that goes wrong, even if it probably wasn't even your fault, it is your fault, make it your fault. Like you said, only good things can come from that. So it's man.
But I think for the whole one more thing I'm gonna say about the whole YouTube thing, like we're talking about this very much like you got to work hard, you got to enjoy it, but like that is the main thing, enjoy. Like do not stress out. Like stress is terrible, and you make bad videos, because there are some people where their attempts to grow are I'm not saying there's anything wrong with obviously trying to get views, because it should go without saying everyone wants views, but some of the lengths people go to try and get views or to pander to these people is pretty ridiculous. Don't stress out about growth. You know, that does come with good content and in enjoying it. So
yeah, exactly.
And
TXO.
And to anyone that says you can't grow, that's a lie. Anybody can grow at any time, forever. Yeah. Like,
that's some bullshit.
A few years ago, I started to almost get into that group of people that thought, you know what, maybe I'm just too late to the party. Well, I mean, for one, I've shown that I'm not. But like, you never are. Like a year ago, who was Dakota's? No one knows who that. Like, no one knew who that was. 1 million subs. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like. And yes, he's exceptional, blah, 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 like at the game and stuff. But like in any aspect of YouTube, it is possible. It's so possible. And you shouldn't let anyone tell you different.
It's too saturated in that. That's like, again, it's just an excuse. That's just another excuse.
If you just think to yourself, right, it's not too saturated. My videos are bad. Fix it.
My videos are bad. Pretty much, it is as brutal as that.
Yeah.
Like you got to be harsh with yourself, and it's hard. It's hard to take responsibility for things that even those things that you really feel aren't like your sort of fault. Like it's really hard to like swallow that pill and be like, right, it's my fault. Let me fix it. Let me work on it, and let me learn from it. It's really hard to do, but if you can just get the balls to do that, like it's gonna do nothing but good. Literally nothing but good. Like nothing bad can come from it.
Yeah. Like no one cares if you take responsibility for something that's not your fault. Like it literally just helps. It does just help.
Yeah, you're doing it for you, not for anyone else. You're not. Yeah, literally, like it's all for you. That's the most important thing in your life. It should be anyway.
So that's our little. That's our YouTube masterclass.
TXO. Yeah, I hope you were happy with your with the answer.
If you are looking for a spark of growth, like if you are looking for a spark of growth and you have nothing, like no viewers, it sounds cliche, but trends are good. Like I wouldn't build a channel off trends, but trends are good. You know, to start. Like you did when you reacted to that video. That was the spark. When I opened crates, that was my spark, you know, and it's
exactly, man.
Yeah, to grow being entirely original is difficult, and you have to be exceptional.
Say that last bit again, mate. What you saying?
I think to grow being entirely original, if that even exists anymore, is difficult to do, and you have to be exceptional. So the chances are, if you're watching this and want to know from us how to do it, that's not your way. I don't think.
Nah, yeah, exactly. Nah, I get what you mean completely, man.
Yeah. Woo, YouTube done. I think we said from the episode 1, it was always going to come up. It was always going to happen because it's such a part of our lives. It will.
There's so much we could talk about.
It will. Like, something might happen. You might reach 1 million subs, and we'll do like a throwback. You know what I mean?
Exactly. I'm trying to look at some more comments to see what other people have asked. I remember there being quite a few, but I'm looking through now, at least on episode 6. There's a few, like, can you talk about the influences that popular video games have on the YouTube? But I don't really know.
I think we've kind of like
those games are popular. Yeah, we've kind of covered that
in the sense that, you know, we talk about Fortnite and the growth it has on channels and stuff. I definitely think in terms of like the influence of the way business models work, that has entirely changed with games like Fortnite. Like I think free to play is going to be the way to go. I think it's the norm now.
Oh yeah, if you talk about the influence it has on sort of gaming as a whole.
Yeah. Microtransactions are getting more money nowadays.
Yeah, like, how much money a Fortnite made?
It's so simple when you think about it, but it's ballsy to try, and that's what Fortnite did. Their Battle Royale, which wasn't their main game, they had the guts to make it free, and it paid off millions. I think probably billions. Like it's mad.
Yeah, man. How different would it have been if you had to pay for that game?
Yeah, imagine like
20 quid.
Yeah, 20 or 30 quid like PUBG. It wouldn't be like it is now. That's for sure. And
no way, man. Anyone could hop on it. It applies to all ages. Like there's literally no one who can't play that game.
That's the thing. Like, and even if you're not a gamer, you don't like that style of game, you've probably tried Fortnite. You know,
actually,
there's no risk in playing it.
Sorry, mate. Sorry, carry on.
I was just saying, like, there's no risk in playing Fortnite. Like, so even if you like my sister, like, she's not a gamer really. Like this kind of game, she's got an account. She'll try it, even if she doesn't like it. You know, you'll try it.
Literally, man. Yeah, and it's the idea of it. So, ages ago, like a couple of months ago, I went to my uncle's, and my uncle's like, I think he's like 43, maybe, let's guess, like something like that.
Yeah.
And never like gamed in his life. Doesn't play games. Obviously, like so when he was a kid, like gaming wasn't really a thing.
Yeah.
I went to his and I went with my cousin, and we were telling him about Fortnite and the idea of it. He was like, "Oh, so what's Fortnite?" We were explaining it to him. It's like, "Oh, it's basically like 100 people go onto like spawn in, like parachute into an island, and it's literally last man standing."
Yeah.
Like even to like non-gamers, he was literally like, "That sounds fucking awesome."
Yeah.
He was like, "That sounds so cool. Like you need to let me try that sometime." We're like, "Yeah, sure."
Yeah.
And like that's someone who you never get that kind of reaction from speaking about a game.
Yeah.
Just the premise of it is so simple.
The release of the
it applies to like what's that?
I wonder how much the release of the Hunger Games series influenced this, because the battle royale style game really started in Minecraft as Minecraft Hunger Games, and even back then I was on that. You know, I loved Minecraft, and it was like probably one of the best game modes of Minecraft. It was so fun, and the Hunger Games series for me was one of my favorite film series. So I wonder, because that's where I feel like, I mean, there's obviously like battle royale stuff, like concepts way before, but that's where it really got mainstream, the whole idea of going into one place and it being last man standing kind of thing.
Well, there were battle royale films before Hunger Games.
Yeah, but like,
I can't remember what they're called, but there are quite a few. I remember watching a video like top 10 battle royale sort of films or whatever. There's like some Asian ones and like Chinese ones.
Exactly, like yeah, and like that's the thing. Like those top 10s, like showcasing older versions, that was influenced and made because of like the success of newer versions, like the Hunger Games, Fortnite, PUBG now, and you know like. All that. So
the butterfly effect, man.
Crazy.
The butterfly effect comes into play once again.
Wait, what did you say?
All these things we talk about. I said the butterfly effect.
Oh, the butterfly effect.
Literally, like, it all comes full circle, lads. It all comes full circle.
Really wonder. Like, because I mean, the Fortnite, the game, has been in development since 2011. And
holy shit.
It'd be interesting to see. I mean, like, when did the Hunger Games come out? Movie release.
Years ago, dude.
It came out in 2012.
Wow, okay. Jeez, man. That's a long time ago. I remember when that came out, so I remember everyone going crazy about it. And
oh, I loved it so much.
Dude, that's a long time ago, dude. That's
over 6 years. What?
That's crazy, man.
Damn.
Jeez, man, time flies. I'm 20 in July, dude.
That's crazy.
Are you 20 yet? You're 20
yet?
Yeah, you're 20 the other day.
20 like last month. Yeah.
Yeah, man. How fucking weird is that?
Weird.
20,
it's not something you really think about, not gonna lie. Partly because like, I live in like my little bubble and my age doesn't really come into it. But the weirdest thing is now you all of a sudden you go from being a child to being treated like an adult by society, and I don't feel like that man.
Yeah, you have to say that again. Sorry, man.
Like, there's one point you're a child, and then all of a sudden you're like a man, and you're treated like a man in society, and I still don't feel like that adult man that I'm treated like. You know what I mean?
Really?
Yeah, like I still.
How so?
But like it's weird to me, like people who are like older, or like I perceive to be as a lot older, like in their 30s, or just maybe they look more manly, they look older. They look more like an adult than me in my eyes, even though I'm about as adult as it gets now, almost. I say almost because I don't feel that way.
So just in your eyes, not the way you're not.
Yeah,
you don't feel like getting treated like a kid.
I find it weird
still.
when businesses, companies treat me like an adult. Still, it still feels a bit strange to me.
Oh yeah, of course. Well, you're sort of just coming into it.
Yeah.
When you think about it, man, you're still like you're 20. You've only just hit 20. You know what I mean? You're still. You got another 10 whole years. You got a decade, mate, until you're even 30, and you're still young as fuck when you're 30.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's crazy, man. And think about like what's happened in the past for you, how different your life is like from where you've been to where you are now. In what? How long? That's like, is that 2 years, 3 years?
Well, I started, in regards to the whole Pick a Pixel thing, I started that just over 2 years ago.
No, but I mean sort of like when, because your life completely changed obviously when like your channel started blowing up, like completely changed, like 100 million%, like tenfold.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I'm saying like that all happened in the space of what, like a year, wasn't it?
A year. It was a year and a half, I think, almost to the day today, almost.
Okay, so like a year ago. If that could happen in a year and a half, dude. Like, I mean, it wasn't a year and a half because obviously you've been doing YouTube for so long, and everything you learned from your like decade or whatever of doing YouTube all came into play for you now.
But yeah,
but you know what I mean.
But
it
in
just
terms
goes to show
of like literal changes in my life, a year and a half.
Yeah, man. And then you still got your whole 20s, your whole... Think of what... I mean, YouTube isn't necessarily the end, that's the thing.
No,
like, not at all. You could honestly take it so... Think about what you could do by the time you're 40, dude. Like, fuck me.
Oh, yeah. It's kind of like... There's also, like... It's like that. There's that expectation now as well to do something as well, which is kind of... It excites me. Like, I won't let that, like, get me down. I'm not worried about it. But then
expectation from
like
from
there,
who?
Like there is a small part of me that's like, oh, what if I don't make the most of this? You know?
Yeah, and maybe you don't, but you're still doing pretty well just where you are now.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Exactly.
You're still doing better than 99% of anyone we went to school with.
That does. I will be honest. That does feel good.
Probably everyone.
Not to like.
I can't think of anyone who's more successful than you that we went to school with. I mean, obviously, there's probably people we don't even speak to, and they're probably like rich as fuck. You never know.
Yeah. There's definitely different forms of success, but I definitely think. Yeah. I speaking for myself. I don't know what people like in our year are like, but I'd be very surprised if there's anyone out there enjoying what they're doing more than I am right now. Which is
who's as happy as you are, who's like just loving life,
which
and
is the coolest thing. Like,
and as successful, however you want to define success, like you just are successful at the moment. You know what I mean? You could be way more successful.
Exactly.
And like, by no means you should stop here. But like, even if you wanted to, like, you could be comfortable for the rest of your life. Like, if you played your cards right, you know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah. And I tell you what,
that's one hell of a position to be in at 20 years old.
Is like, I don't know if you know this because you weren't in sixth form, but we got like a sixth form yearbook.
Sixth form? No, we
got a sixth form yearbook, and that they have like best dress, best couple, like these categories.
Oh, okay.
And
what did you fucking get?
I won by a landslide, most likely to be famous, and it does feel good.
Really?
Like, which is weird because like everyone in the year seemed to rate me, but back then I wasn't like big on YouTube, but like, and it feels good to kind of have like, I'm not famous, but more so than anyone else in that category to kind of like get there. It feels really cool. It is a bit of an ego boost.
Oh yeah, of course. And it sort of just helps you, because I'm sure you already felt that anyway inside you. Like you must have.
I think as soon as I was like part of the category, like people to vote for, I had a feeling I'd win. Like because of like when people look at when you look at a student, they don't have a lot going for them in terms of a career unless they do something like this at our age, So
yeah, man.
Yeah.
The amount of like sort of dull. Oh man, it's scary, sort of. And I learned, what was it? I think it was when I did a week's worth of work experience in Tesco.
Yeah.
Is when I realised how like I really have to make something like unordinary work. Yeah. I can't do like an ordinary life. I really can't, mate. It was depressing, man. Yeah.
This is good because there was someone who asked about. It might have been on the 7th episode about previous like jobs and experience. So
if you
wanted to like
I was going to mention
more
that
about like what you've done as work. And
say that one more time, bro. Sorry, you cut out there.
There was like a comment from someone. It might have been the last week, basically saying like, can you talk about like past jobs or something like that?
It was here, Acro. Next episode, can you talk a bit about old jobs if you had anything? Love this.
Yeah.
So thank you for the comment, Acro. Yeah, let's cover it. Fuck it.
Let's go for it.
Do you want to go or me?
I mean, I'm interested to hear like about the whole Tesco thing. What did you actually have to do? Because it was only for a week. So what were you doing in that week?
So how do I put it? So with the work experience, so I was like, I've already talked about it a million times about how I was sort of like, I didn't really do much work at school, etc. Yeah. So even when it came to applying for work experience, I left that to the very, very last minute. Yeah. So there were really no options for me. Yeah. So obviously if I could choose, I would not choose Tesco. I would have chose something much more interesting.
For sure.
But I was honestly, Tesco was like pretty much my only option at that point. And like even the teachers are like, right, like we're gonna get you Tesco. That's all you can do now, you fuck. So I was like, okay. So ended up going to Tesco. Was meant to be 2 weeks of work experience, but then a week in, I was literally sat there eating my lunch. Fucking, by the way, eating your lunch in that cafeteria is one of the most depressing things I've ever experienced, mate.
Really?
Like, I'd walk into the caf, get my food, I sit down, and there was this one girl that was also doing work experience that, like, was pretty much my only friend there at the time.
Yeah.
And, like, we were just chilling, and I look around, and I'm just like, people sat in their row, maybe a group of, like, 3-4 people, but they just, no one looked happy, man.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that might have just been, I'm sure there's a lot of people who do work at Tesco and shop, and I'm not saying that's bad, because if it makes you happy, then that's the coolest thing in the world. Like, you do you.
Any job.
If you can work a 9 to 5 and be happy, then by all means go for it. I'm not saying you have to do something unordinary. Like, everyone's different, you know what I mean? Everyone's got their own. Some people like order and, like a 9 to 5 and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I was sat there and I did not see happiness. I did not feel happiness, mate. So I was like sat there, I was like, fuck me, man. And all I did for that week, honestly, was what pretty much all the employees do anyway.
Yeah.
And I was like, that was a week, dude. And I was like I was 15 or 16 at the time.
Yeah.
So obviously I didn't appreciate, I couldn't really, I was more likely to hate the work. Because if you're older, you sort of pull up with it more. You know how to deal with things you don't like more.
Yeah.
You sort of get used to it. But dude, I was just stacking shelves. There's a thing called rumbling where you go around picking up all this cardboard and you just like crunch it up and throw it in the fucking cage, dude. I worked in the dairy aisle, and actually working on the dairy aisle, like with the milk and the cheese and all of that shit. That was like one of the coolest things because the guy I was working with fucking loved his job, dude.
Really?
I think his name was Gary, but I've probably got that wrong.
Yeah.
He's like an old guy, but like kind of short. It's just he was a boss, mate. It's a bold guy, and he'd be so enthusiastic. But right, let's go to the fridge. Let's get all the milk out. We'll go stack it up, and he'd like really talk.
It's
to me.
crazy what that does
mate.
to your experience. Like the people you work with
can
make or break your shift. There was a guy like that at McDonald's called Liam, and he like hated his job, but he like made a joke out of it like the whole time. Like he was always upbeat in a kind of ironic way.
Yeah,
and it's just it's just fun. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. So what jobs have? Because I did. Actually, I'll just finish off mine, then I'll go to you. So I literally did Tesco for a week, and then a week in. I thought I said another week. I was literally to the point where I was like, how can I do this for another week? Like, this is so fucking bad.
Were you supposed to do it for 2 weeks then?
It was meant to be for 2 weeks, and then she came in with a certificate saying like, oh, like we've called you and the girl that I was with, we've called you to like your work experience is over. Like, that's fine. Give us a certificate. Give us a £20 gift card.
Are you
each.
Excited? You like
mate? That was one of the best fucking moments of my life, dude. I was literally sat there. I was like, I love my life.
Yeah,
ran out of Tesco's, looked at it from the outside. I was like, not that dramatic, obviously. It wasn't sort of like music playing in the background or some shit. But I was literally like, yeah, I never have to do that again.
I had that same
and I had
feeling.
this like epiphany, dude. And I was like, okay, like I had to do that week. I couldn't really get out of that. That's with the school, you know. I have to do it to sort of like get through school. But
did
now
someone
that's
come
done,
visit you? Because they said someone visited everyone. Did a teacher?
Yeah, I had a visitor. Yeah, Miss Sinnett.
I was the only one who was just left. No one came.
No one came?
No.
Oh,
literally no one came, which I was kind of glad about because that would be so awkward. Imagine a workplace full of adults, some teacher comes in to look at your work.
It was a bit awkward, yeah, it was a bit awkward. But like, the manager from my sector was saying like, yeah, no, he's doing really well. Like, he really picked me up, so I rated him heavily. And she was confused. She was like, what? He's a fucking retard. Like, what are you talking about? But no, I just wanted to say, like, when I left and I looked back at Tesco, dude, I realised, like, at that moment, I realised how me going back into a job like that is purely up to me now.
Yeah.
Like, I can avoid that for the rest of my life if I play my cards right and, you know, work on something that can give me that opportunity, or I can keep doing what I'm doing, keep being an idiot and just not putting any work or heart into anything and go back to like what I fucking despised, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that was one of them, dude. And then what reinforced that a lot was when I did a year of work experience full time, 9 to 5 every day.
That's crazy.
Working for my uncle in the
9
website.
To 5.
Dude,
jeez.
I look back at it, dude, and I still can't believe that was a year of my life, an entire year. When everyone was on summer holiday, dude, I was the only one like working full time because no one really worked full time back then.
No, you were you were young. You started young.
Young, dude. I was like 16, 17, I think. And I was like, dude, everyone was out in the sun, like it's summer holidays. All my group chats that I was in were going off. Like, yeah, let's do this today. Let's do this. Let's do this.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, like I'm stuck in an office. And I was like, that was, I already knew that I didn't want to do that kind of shit.
Yeah.
But that was, because I was a bit older than I thought. Maybe because I was young, Tesco's wasn't my thing because I was young. But now I've realised, like, there's just no way, dude. I won't be happy if I'm doing that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I can do it.
Yeah.
I did it for a year, you know what I mean? And I hated it, so.
Yeah.
What can you, oh, man. That was an experience, dude. And then I did cleaning part-time. That was only like 3 hours a day. But I love that job, actually. That was an amazing job, cleaning.
There's a bit of freedom there, isn't
fine.
it? What you can do. You can listen to stuff and...
Cleaning was life-changing for me as well. Every job has been like life-changing, I swear, man. It's hard to explain.
I can imagine it. Yeah, they're all so different as well.
The thing cleaning did for me was it enabled me to like have 3 hours a day, because obviously it doesn't take any mental work. It's just physical. You just do it. Your body's doing the work and your brain can be thinking about whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
Whereas when you're doing my office job, you have to be thinking about what you're doing. Yeah. So you can't really, you're just completely like occupied.
Yeah.
With cleaning, that to me, I looked at it and it's probably why I enjoyed it so much, because you can, like people say, a lot of it's dependent on your perspective on it. So with cleaning, the way I looked at cleaning was it's 3 hours a day, every day, where I can listen to a podcast, or even 2 podcasts, you know?
Yeah.
And every day I'd learn something new. And not just learn something, but like, depending on the podcast, I could go to cleaning like unhappy and then finish really motivated and really ready to like kill it the next day or even tonight. Yeah. You know what I mean? So
I think the thing is, awesome. Because podcasts, they are quite a commitment. And if you're doing something like that, it's literally like you said, like it's 3 hours a day where you can like, you good?
Yeah, sorry, just repeat that. Sorry, man,
so
I didn't hear a thing.
That's all good. So like with the podcast, like, and you're cleaning, it's like 3 hours a day where you can almost like listen to it without feeling like you're wasting your time. Like if you did it in your free time, you would still enjoy it, but you could be doing other things.
In the back of your head.
Yeah. Like that's why I only listen to podcasts when I travel, because I'd be doing it anyway. So it's like it like adds to that time rather than like in your free time.
Exactly. And with cleaning, even more, because with traveling, you can still play on your phone or, you know, little things like that. But with cleaning, it was literally all you could honestly do is podcast or music.
Yeah.
And then every now and again, I'd have a phone call with one of my mates that would sometimes last even the whole 3 hours. So, like, that was sometimes cool. But, you know, that made time fly. But I was quite happy with time not flying by if I was listening to a good podcast.
Exactly, yeah.
And yeah, I almost want that back in... I almost want those 3 hours a day back where I had no choice but to give my mind some rest and listen to a podcast, stuff like that. Because even if I listen to a podcast now, like you said, there's all these other things I could be doing.
Yeah.
But when I was cleaning, man, like it was no choice but to.
And you're like, yeah, because when you're cleaning, you're earning money, you're working, so the podcast is like a bonus. But yeah.
And it was just 3 of us every day. 3 of us would go to the Mercedes garage. And we'd go in, we'd clean for 3 hours, no one else was there.
Yeah.
Everyone I worked with was sound. And it was just, oh, mate. I really wish, I did appreciate it, but I would love that back, honestly, man. It's impossible, I can't get it back now, but
yeah,
I would really like something similar. I don't know. Fuck knows, man. I don't know. But yeah, it was nice, dude. It was nice. I enjoyed that.
I can imagine, I can see the appeal, for sure.
And I've done other jobs in that, but that's pretty much, like, the important ones I wanted to talk about, because that, like, relates to... you know, sort of where I am now, so I thought I'd mention those. But I want to hear you, man, because you've got some interesting... you're fucking McDonald's to millionaire, mate, so what's going on there?
Well, first of all, like, the first like experience I had was my work experience, and I won't go too much into this because it was very dull, you know, all that at a desk, and that, like for you, it confirmed my belief that I don't want that to be my life, working at a desk.
No chance.
But I remember it's just that same feeling that you had. I did 8 days, and it was like every day was like 30 degrees, bright sunshine. And this last day, it was probably like a half an hour walk from there to my house. And I remember getting out, and I looked back. I was like, I never have to go in there again. I was ecstatic. It was literally the best feeling.
Pure ecstatic. Yeah, I remember that so well, mate.
I felt it, and then I felt it on the next level when I left McDonald's. It wasn't like sunny or anything like that. It was February, but oh my day, just like handing in my uniform, and they're like, oh, what are you doing? What are you doing for a job? And the manager's like, oh, I wish I could earn £1,000 a week doing what you do. And I'm like, and it was like, oh, you can. And then I walked out, and I got to my bike, and I looked back, and I was like, to know that because that was 6 months of like McDonald's, like solid, hard-working McDonald's, and I just look back at it, and that is probably one of the greatest feelings I've felt, you know, just knowing that, and especially because I've done it almost to move on to better things. I'm not just like moving to another job or anything, like just nothing. I did it, and like I like almost earned my way out of that job. Yeah,
man, I can't think of a better feeling than that.
Oh, it was the best. And the fact that I'm here, like well into the 2nd year of doing it full time, and it looks as stable as it has been, it's really good. Because like when you first do it, you first go into it, there is like YouTube, you're like, man, is this gonna work? Especially because of how quick my growth was. It's like, is this sustainable? You know?
Yeah.
But and then a couple months into it being full time, because by that point it was still just ad revenue, some sponsorship starting, and I was like, man, this could last for years, and I still think it can.
Sorry, bro. Say that one more time at the end.
Like when a few sponsorships started coming up, I was thinking like this could last for years, and even a year later, I'm still thinking this could last for years, and it is the best feeling, and I don't appreciate it like day to day.
It's hard to,
because like you said, it's hard to, but like when you talk about it out loud like this, it really does put into perspective. Like, geez, like it's
mad.
Like I don't have to go. Like I'm basically in the same position as my sister when I think about it. She's 5 years older than me nearly, and her every day is going to her job and like her 9 to 5-ish job, whereas my every day, it's not like I'm slacking off and just doing a hobby, even though that's what I am, just doing a hobby. That's my work. And I can do that every day, and it doesn't feel like it whatsoever. It's what I do anyway. And like thinking about it now, it just makes me like, I don't even know how to describe it. Like,
when you talk about it like that, I'm sure it really sort of brings it more into
it does, like,
makes it feel more real. Because I feel like for a while you could probably get sort of like you just get used to it, don't you?
Yeah. You like wake up, it's like, all right, another day, I'll make a video if I feel compelled to. But like thinking about it now and having this podcast as another project is really cool. And I just think like I can do all these things and I'm not wasting my life. This is my job. Like, oof, that's so mad.
And you have no one to answer to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you want to go on holiday, which you have, and like you would with work, you know, you have to go to your boss, you have to beg for a fucking week or two off, and then you really suffer from that if you don't, especially if you don't get paid, like, you know, and if and you can only do it like once a year, once or twice a year. I don't really know too much about it. You get like 29 days, something like that in most jobs a year, stuff like that.
Exactly.
I remember with summer holidays, I had to book off 3 weeks in summer holidays, and like I only had those 3 weeks to like chill with my mates and that, and then I had to go back and work when they all have like the whole like 2 months off, whatever it was. And I was like, fuck my life. But when you're self-employed, like if you want to go, say you want to go on holiday in fucking July, for example, all you need to do is prepare videos, like just do double the work for a week or two before. And then you'll feel good doing it because like you've got to do it to like, you know, you're going to get out of that. You're going to be able to go on holiday with the peace of mind that you'll have videos still going up, etc.
Yeah, that's super cool. Like I've been on like week and a half long holidays where I've uploaded every day, like scheduled videos. So I'm on holiday earning money just from working a bit harder, and it's not even the money aspect. Like when I went on holiday for a week, I had like 600, 700 subs, but I was still posting every day, and that was like so cool to me.
Yeah, man.
But and I'm now like actually in the next couple of weeks, my 2-year contract with Maker runs out, and I'm moving to a new network, and it's like it's better pay, it's better contact, it just feels more community based, because you know, like corporations, there's like thousands of people, you have to wait weeks to get a reply and all that, whereas this one, like I've got like Twitter DM contacts and stuff, which is so much better than just like this corporation that don't realistically care about me, you know.
Realistically,
I make 0.001% of their revenue, and I'm disposable.
Makers have like what, like PewDiePie, is it?
Yeah, they got PewDiePie, Jacksepticeye. That's why I was like, I thought, right, PewDiePie's with them, they're probably good. But they had like tens of thousands of like members, and they slashed that down. Luckily, I still made the cut, but
they slashed that down, honestly.
Yeah, they took like tens of thousands of people off the partnership program because they wanted to make it the top like whatever percent.
Motherfuckers.
Yeah. So like,
Jesus.
Which for someone like your channel, say you were partnered with them, I don't know how, like whether you would have stayed on or been kicked off, kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Oh, they would have fucked me right off, mate. I would have been sent away, mate. No chance.
Like, it's just looking at the whole thing. Like, I very rarely articulate it now because like anyone who's important in my life, they kind of get the whole spiel. They know what I'm doing. But it is like crazy to think about it in the wider, you know.
Say that again, sorry, bro.
It is like crazy to think about it in like the wider, I don't know how to explain it, like the big picture. Just looking at it, like stepping back and looking at it is pretty mad. And obviously every day I've got over it on my wall, I've got my 100,000 subscriber plaque, and like that, like to like people that don't have it, like whether you're gonna get it or whether you don't aspire to get it, you literally, when you have it, you look at it every day and you think what it means. You know, like even if it's a glance, you look at it and it's like. I
feel like I'd cry, mate, when that, like, I say when, like, if that arrives, you know what I mean? Like, I need to, the thing is with my channel, dude, is like, I know what I need to do, but I'm just honestly, it's like a war with my mind, and like, obviously, we're talking about not complaining, and I'm not complaining, I'm just giving, like, because I know a lot of people are going through the same thing, obviously, like, everyone does, I'm sure you do as well, I'm sure everyone does, like, no matter how successful you are, you're always at a battle with your brain, you know what I mean, like,
100%.
Your battle against laziness and shit, and I'm not losing, I'm winning that battle at the moment, but, fuck, man, I know what I need to do, I know I have video ideas, like, that I'm not going to say, but, I know like videos that I can make, and I know that if I just put in the extra couple of hours to make those big fishing videos once every sort of 2 weeks, I know that would do wonders for me. But it's sort of like I'm comfortable where I am now. I'm making. I think the problem with me is like I don't need to. It's sort of I'm making enough money to pay all my bills, all my phone, my gym, everything. So you know.
Why not make that commitment today, like you did a few weeks ago with the lifestyle thing? Make that video once a month. Twice a month, like
twice a month, like
big just, sort of like just do like something big, like
fuck. Thing is, that's the only thing with me as well. Is like 1,000,000 times, dude, I've said like, yeah, I'll do it, and then I don't. I find it so hard to even trust myself.
It's hard. Like I've got video ideas written down from months ago that would still today be a good video idea that I just don't do. Like,
but those are the winners, man. Like those. I know I'm not going to grow my channel doing what I'm doing. I need to make those. Like I will. I can do it. I know I can do it. But on top of that, I need those fishing videos. You know, you're not going to... It can catch on what I'm doing now, but very fucking slowly. You know, nothing's really going to blow up. And if it does, it's just lucky.
It'll probably
I need to make those ones that, that can like, you know... I'm not going to say ideas now. I don't want them getting short. There's only so much ideas in the community anyway. But yeah, man, fuck.
But it's always possible still, which I think is like what keeps me excited about YouTube, no matter what. Like it's exciting. It's extremely hard, but it's so doable at the same time. It's a bit of like a contradiction, but yeah.
And what's the limit, mate? You know what I mean? Like from YouTube, I mean, in 10 years' time, like you can't even predict it, dude. You really can't.
Like when you look like someone like your channel, you think you've been doing it for a few years, but like you think in 10 years' time, if you keep it up, evolve with trends, there's almost no way you can't be at like 100,000. 10 years, you know?
Oh mate, 10 years. Yeah, I'd hope so, dude. But
like, it's like I've got like the million goal within the next 5 years, preferably the next 3, but 5 years is where I want to be at 1 million. And like I've said before, like it's super hard. That's like 700,000 subscribers away, but what's stopping me? You know?
Yeah, exactly. And it all just comes down to sort of like just that war of your mind, dude. It's just if you could just battle that laziness, and you could it's not about like your capability, because we all know you can do it. It's not that at all. It's just doing the work. Like what they say, I don't know if this is the exact quote, but like what they say is like 99% of it, of like the key to success is just turning up. You know, it's just turning up to work and just doing it. It's not everyone's capable. Doing YouTube isn't like, you got to have something about you, obviously. You got to
but it's not rocket science. Like,
it's really not.
It's
you
not
can't
beyond
be like
comprehension
the most boring
of people, you know what I mean?
But then if you are boring, if you are like the most boring person in the world, there's still ways to make it work with editing and with like, I don't know, even if it comes down to compilation videos or any, you know what I mean? Like you can make it work. Not advising it, but like, you know what I mean? Exactly. You can make it work.
There's something like even if you are ridiculously camera shy, your charisma is lacking, there are videos you can do without you being involved whatsoever other than behind the camera, and you don't need someone else to be the spotlight. You can make videos, you can do stuff regardless.
And you don't necessarily... That doesn't, like I said a couple of podcasts ago, you don't even have to define yourself like that. Like, if you are camera shy, I was camera shy when I first started, like, and if you have a low self-esteem, or, you know, you don't really have, not like confident in yourself or whatever, like, that can all change. You're not going to be like that for the rest of your life, unless you choose to be. You know, unless you think of yourself as, I'm camera shy,
there is a better version of you out there, ladies and gentlemen.
There is, and I say it so much, but, like, it's because... it really like resonates with me a lot, because like I've gone from, you know, sort of, I went through a stage where I just like, I really defined myself as someone who's like lazy and not going to get shit done and that, and now like, you know, I've realized that I'm still lazy, but I can get shit done, you know. The thing is, I'm lazy, but I do more than like 99% of my friends. That's one way of thinking about it. I think
you're more when you like from a younger age, you give yourself that characteristic of laziness. You scrutinize yourself a lot more. Like, you notice when you spent an hour doing nothing, whereas some people would think nothing of it. You know, whereas you're thinking, man, I'm such a lazy person. Why am I like this? Whereas someone who's never associated themselves with that would do nothing for an hour and like just continue with their day. So which I think is not, I don't think that's a bad thing. Exactly. Like for instance, like with the whole weight loss thing, because I know I'm someone who can have lazy periods and does like to overeat, I'm way more like vigilant when it comes to that sort of thing, where someone who, like my brother, he'll eat what he wants, he'll keep sort of active, and that's just him. Whereas I have to think about it, you know. It's like there is something mentally there, like if you've been overweight, if you've lost weight, if you've gained weight, there is something mentally, like whether it's your relationship with food or your relationship with exercise, there is something that you do have to think that a little bit more about than someone who's never had to deal with that, you know? Yeah,
for sure. Yeah, exactly, man. And it's I don't know what to say. It's just
something you just learn to live with.
It's discipline, man. It's all just discipline. It's doing things that you don't want to do. And obviously, like, changing your environment helps with that. It's, you know, willpower. You can do a lot of things with willpower, but really, like, you can only do so much. It's hard to explain. Like for me, for example, buying Far Cry, I thought I'd have the willpower to sort of like limit it to a certain point each day, like 1 or 2 hours a day. But it really has just like consumed me. And it's the same with having chocolate in your house when you're trying to be fit. You know what I mean? It's just changing your environment to sort of like help you can really make a big difference. So after I complete Far Cry, I'm already too far into it now for me to like think, fuck it, I'm not gonna.
I mean, you're basically done by the sounds of things. So
I've accepted it. I'm more than halfway through. I'm like 3/4 of the way through now. So
and that almost comes back to what you say. I don't know if you said it in the podcast, but to me about like one thing that's really helped you recently with like sorting out your lifestyle is not taking a failure and thinking, oh, that's it. It's looking at your failures, accepting them, and then moving on and building and learning from them is huge. Yeah,
learning from them is the big one. Yeah, exactly. We used to, I say we because you've told me you do the same thing.
Yeah.
But like all throughout, weight loss is a big one. But like with everything really, when you fail, it's so easy to think. And the way we'd explain it is that, for example, say we're 2 weeks and we're eating well and going to the gym, and then there's like 1 or 2 days where we maybe get a pizza in, and you miss the gym both days. It's so easy to think, right? I've already failed. Fuck it. Like, let's go to Pizza Hut. You know what I mean?
It's so
and that's so destructive, man. I failed so. It's been 2 weeks. I failed like 3-4 times now. I've missed a few workouts here and there, like 1 or 2 workouts here and there, and I've probably had a bit more pasta than I should, and little things like that, little failures. Whereas before they'd really throw me off, but now I'm like, right, I accepted that I fucked up. Let's learn from it. Learn why I fucked up. That's another thing. Learn the cause of it, and like whether that's because. I don't know. Far Cry is a big one. I keep going back to Far Cry, but that's really a big one. And now I know that once I complete this game, I'm not going to buy another game for a long time now. I'm going to keep it to Rocket League and Fortnite, which I'm not addicted to. And I know things will be better.
So, I think also it's knowing whether it's weight loss or anything else. It's knowing that you will mess up and that's okay. Like
exactly.
Not letting it like completely consume you and just destroy any progress. Like. Even if it is to the point where you're going sort of 2 steps forward, 1 step back, that's still progress.
Exactly.
But it's so easy, especially with like I struggle now to take rest days. I feel lazy when I take 1 rest day because I'm like, man.
Say that again, bro. Sorry, I completely missed all of that.
Oh, like I like struggle to like mentally to take a rest day because I feel like I'm not making progress. I'm like, man, I feel really like immobile today. Like, why am I not? Like, I don't know what it is. Like, every time I take I've only had like a couple where I don't do any exercise, and I already feel like I'm falling off. So it's kind of like.
But if you look at it in the big picture, you're really not.
No, exactly.
You know what I mean? Like you've done so much more good than bad.
Even when I have a day full of good diet, if I'm not exercising, I'm like, man, why? Like, I feel restless.
Yesterday was the first time I missed a workout in the whole 2 weeks that we've been doing it. I think. Or maybe the second, fuck knows, but at least one, like the first or second, and that was 100% down to Far Cry as well. I say that I take full responsibility. It was down to me being lazy.
It's down to you playing Far Cry,
It was because I was there and I was like, I could either go and I should go and I am enjoying it, so I want to go, but I'm like, fuck, man, I'm making progress. I'm really.
You are,
You could really you really sort of, although you're hating that you're being lazy, you can really enjoy indulging in that laziness sometimes.
Yes.
Like, really fucking indulging in it, dude. Like, to the point where, and it got a bit out of hand yesterday because I sat down for like all day yesterday and just fucking smashed the game more or less. Like, I did a few things, but that was more or less it. But like, I really fucking indulge in it, dude. But obviously, back in the day, if I did that, I'd probably, get a takeaway in on top of that. And I think, I've already sat down all day. I'm going to do more. And, I'm going to eat a bit more recklessly because, I'm indulging in it. But I'm trying to keep it to a minimum. Today I'm feeling better and hopefully tomorrow I'll be even better. And then, you go through ups and downs.
Literally,
and it's just acknowledging when you're at a down as well. That's a big thing as well.
And it's like, you're like, right, I'm at a slump now, but I will get out of it. And like,
exactly.
this morning, like I did my workout this morning and I'm not sure why. It was like overall a really good workout, but there were times I was like, my strength was lacking a little bit. I wasn't finding it as easy as I did the night before. And I was like, part of me was thinking, man, this is getting a bit tough, but it's one of those times where you just got to show up and do it and move on,
Yeah, exactly, man. Showing up is like everything, dude. It's just showing up, getting it done, no matter how like little you want to do it. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I think, bro, honestly, I might. Do you mind if we cut it? Not short, but like cool. End it here. I know my mum wants me.
Yeah,
I think
it's
she wants
fine.
me to give her a lift somewhere. So
sure,
we'll end it there, man.
Yeah, the Discord was start. It did cut out a few times again, but
same. I struggled.
Yeah,
but I feel like we did all right.
I think It's been enjoyable. It's been good, and I mean, I always love like coming on. It's also because we film this on a Wednesday. It's a really nice gap in the middle of like a busy week where we're running around doing things or whatever. It's nice to sit down and do this. And that it's really cool that we've kept it up weekly, and it hasn't been too much of a struggle, you know.
Yeah, and when you messaged me this morning, for example, you're like 11 o'clock today, the first reaction was like, fuck yeah, I completely forgot about that, like 11 o'clock today, and I was like, shit, man, I've got to sit there for an hour and do a podcast, like, fuck, like, you start thinking of excuses, ways to get out of it and that, but I'm just like, no, like, it gets a bit closer, you're like, right, sit down for an hour, and then once we start, I'm like, I love it from the moment we start, so
it's so cool.
It's really,
it's cool to think there are people listening to this as well, so shout out to you guys.
Yeah, like, a good 100 couple of, like, you know, anywhere between 500 to 800 people are watching these now.
Yeah.
Well, episode 7's on 921 views actually.
Yeah, that just like crept up a little bit. I don't know why or how,
dude,
but
yeah,
it's thumbnail game.
It probably is, yeah. Like I said the other day, man, when we're getting like minimum 1,000 a podcast, that's gonna feel crazy, man.
Yeah, I mean, I know I still every time I post the podcast on my community tab because I'm proud of it. I want people to see it. Some people might miss it. Like I can imagine probably get like 100, maybe 200 views, probably just even 100 if it was left to just the subscribers of this channel alone, which is still sick.
Exactly.
But it is nice to like send out to people that may want to watch it, but not know that they want to watch it.
Do that shit.
You know what I mean?
I need to do that as well. Probably hit 1,000 if we both did it. Maybe, who knows?
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, man, I enjoyed that. Let's wrap it up.
It's good, yeah, and hopefully like the internet will fix and this cutting out problem won't be too bad. Then by episode 100 we'll have our own studio and. Yeah. Oh, mate, that'd be seeds, mate. That'd be so decent. Yeah. Don't forget, guys, to leave your comments like you did before. I think we kind of there were one or two where you can't really take too much conversation from. Yeah. That I felt like we both kind of ignored. Which is fine. Like, leave honestly whatever questions you want, but anything that could spark conversation, anything like that, leave it in the comments. And you know, if we think it's interesting enough to like talk about it in the podcast, we'll definitely talk about it. Yeah. For instance, this whole podcast was off the back of 3 comments: the YouTube comment, the gaming comment, and the job comment. That was it. And everything else, I feel like we're good enough conversationalists to keep it going from a few points of interest. You know. Exactly, man. Yeah, just need that little start, and then we can go off for fucking hours. So it's all good, man. Yeah. So hope you guys enjoyed the podcast. Thank you so much for watching. Yeah. Make sure you leave a like and subscribe if you're new. Yeah. And we'll see you next week on Saturday 4 p.m. Yeah. Sounds good. Peace out. See you guys. Peace. Peace. Fuck, dude. I struggled a lot there. Yeah, there was